The sun comes up over Texas in the summer of 1995, and the heat is already building even at 6 in the morning. Cicadas start their long hum in the live oak trees while the sky glows pink and orange along the horizon. Sprinklers click and spray across brown lawns, water hitting the pavement and starting to steam. Inside a brick ranch house, the air conditioner hums without stopping, not in July anyway, and the window unit in the bedroom rattles just a little. Cool air pours into the room, while outside it might already be 80 degrees, but inside it feels like a cave where everything is safe and dim and cool. An alarm clock goes off, and the red numbers say 6:15. The radio comes on instead of a beep, a country station playing softly while the DJ talks about the heat. He says it will be over 100 today, tells people to check on their neighbors, and reads the livestock report with cattle prices and hay prices before another song starts. Someone gets up slowly with bare feet on carpet, that soft tan color that every house seems to have, and shows every footprint. The hallway stays dark with family photos lining the walls and wooden frames, school pictures, and a wedding photo where everyone looks younger. The kitchen light flickers on with that fluorescent delay, taking a second to warm up fully. The counter stays clean except for a coffee maker already programmed to start. The pot half full and the smell of coffee filling the small kitchen. Someone pours a cup into a mug that says something about Texas, or has a company logo, or came free with a fill-up at the gas station. The refrigerator hums under its covering of magnets with pizza delivery numbers, a calendar from the insurance agent, and pictures held up with fruit-shaped magnets. Inside, there is milk in a plastic jug, orange juice, eggs, butter, leftovers in Tupperware, and a 12-pack of Dr. Pepper, where everything feels solid and real and exactly where it should be. Breakfast is simple with cereal maybe or toast. The cereal boxes are bright with Frosted Flakes, Cheerios, and Lucky Charms, promising prizes inside. Milk pours cold and sweet, while the toast pops up and someone spreads butter while it is still hot, the butter melting into every corner. The television in the living room comes on to morning news from Dallas or Houston or San Antonio, where the anchors wear bright blazers with their hair sprayed into place. They talk about the weather and show the radar with green and yellow and orange blobs moving across the state. Then they talk about traffic and show car dealership commercials that are loud and enthusiastic because everyone is having a sale. The news switches to the national broadcast with Good Morning America or the Today Show, where Katie Couric, Matt Lauer, and Bryant Gumbel sit on couches interviewing celebrities and doing cooking segments. They show clips from movies where everything is bright and cheerful. The morning starting everywhere, all across the country and all across the world. But here it feels personal, like they are talking just to you. A shower runs and steam fills the bathroom where the water pressure is good. The soap smells like Irish Spring, and the shampoo is Pert Plus, that 2-in-1 combination that saves time, while the towels are thick and slightly rough because they came from Target or Walmart, or maybe they were a wedding gift years ago. The bathroom mirror fogs up and someone wipes a circle clear to see the same face every morning. The toothbrush sits next to the sink with Crest toothpaste, that white paste with blue stripes that tastes like mint, and the brush scrubs back and forth in a routine that is automatic, where you brush, spit, rinse, and the water runs while the sink drains. Getting dressed means jeans, probably, Wranglers or Levi's with a t-shirt, or maybe a button-up Western shirt for work. The shirts have pearl snaps instead of buttons, and they make a satisfying pop when you fasten them, while some people wear work boots or cowboy boots worn smooth and comfortable, and others wear Reeboks or Nikes with white socks and a belt with a buckle. Hair gets fixed where women use mousse or hairspray, lots of hairspray so the bathroom smells like Aqua Net, and men use gel maybe or nothing at all. Baseball caps are everywhere with sports teams, company logos, and feed stores printed on them. The caps curved and broken in so they fit just right. Makeup happens at the bathroom counter with foundation, powder, and blush, followed by eyeshadow in blues and browns. Mascara comes next, where the wand pulls through lashes, making them longer and darker. Then lipstick in a tube gets pressed to lips and blotted on tissue so the tissue shows the perfect print. The makeup bag zips shut with everything in its place. Keys go in a pocket along with a wallet, while some people clip a pager to their belt, that black and small device that buzzes when someone needs you and means you have to find a phone to call back. Some people have a cell phone now, those big, heavy devices that live in the car and cost $1 a minute to use, so you only use them for emergencies. The garage door opens with a grinding sound because the opener is loud and echoes in the concrete space. The garage smells like oil and hot metal and grass clippings where the car sits waiting, maybe a Ford pickup or a Chevy Suburban or a Honda Accord or a Toyota Camry. The paint is clean and the interior is cloth because nobody has leather, unless it is a nicer truck. The truck bed might have a toolbox in it, that metal locked box with wrenches and screwdrivers and jumper cables and a tow rope inside, all the things you might need. The bed liner is rubber and scratched and worn, while the tailgate has small dents from loading and unloading, from backing up too close from life. The car starts up and the engine turns over while the radio comes on automatically to the preset station. Country music maybe, or classic rock, or Tejano music with its accordions and bajo sexto, where the DJ talks in Spanish and English mixed together. He gets excited about everything, plays requests, and gives shout-outs to people calling in from work. The morning radio shows become familiar friends because you hear the same voices every day doing the same jokes in the same segments. They do trivia and give prizes like concert tickets, free dinners, and T-shirts where people call in and answer questions over the phone. Their voices are loud over the static and the connection is not great, but everyone can hear them and everyone listens. Backing out of the driveway means looking both ways because the neighborhood is waking up. Other cars are pulling out while kids wait for the school bus, that yellow and huge vehicle that stops at the corner with red lights flashing and a stop sign swinging out. Everyone waits because no one passes a school bus, not ever. The neighborhood is quiet in the morning, where the houses are similar with ranch-style brick fronts and one-story mostly. Attached garages, small front yards, and bigger backyards with chain-link fences or wood fences line the street where the yards are brown because the grass struggles. Everyone waters, but the heat wins, and the driveways are concrete cracking in the heat with weeds pushing through, dandelions and crabgrass being persistent. Some houses have American flags hanging from poles attached to the porch, the flags hanging limp in the still air because there is no breeze yet. Later, maybe when the heat rises and creates its own weather with its own wind, hot wind, but wind nonetheless. Driving to work means knowing the route because you take the same route every day with the same stoplights and the same turns. The roads are wide, since everything in Texas is wider than it needs to be, with big lanes, big shoulders, and the biggest sky of all that stretches forever in every direction. The roads have names like Farm to Market Roads and Ranch Roads, FM 1960, and Ranch Road 12, where the numbers mean something to planners and to the state. To locals, they are just roads, the roads you take to get where you need to go, and some are paved smooth, while some have patches and some have potholes. Trucks and cars navigate around them because everyone knows where they are. Strip malls line the roads, and they all look similar with tan brick flat roofs and big parking lots. There is always an H-E-B grocery store or an Albertsons or a Kroger, always a Blockbuster Video with the yellow and blue sign bright against the morning sky. There is always a Radio Shack, a Payless Shoes, a dollar store, and a donut shop. The donut shops stay busy in the morning at places like Shipley's or Krispy Kreme when the Hot Now sign is on, along with local places with hand-painted signs. Donuts are made fresh early before dawn, and the smell draws people in to buy glazed donuts, chocolate, sprinkles, and filled donuts with cream or jelly. The donuts are soft and sweet, with glaze melting on your fingers while people buy them by the dozen in pink boxes or white boxes that go to offices, to job sites, and to schools where everyone shares. Coffee comes in styrofoam cups that are white with designs like patterns or Greek columns maybe, and the coffee is hot and too hot at first. The lid has a small opening where you sip carefully because the coffee is strong and dark, sweet if you add sugar, and creamy if you add cream. The packets are on the counter for people to help themselves and make their coffee their way because everyone is particular. Gas stations appear every few blocks with Exxon, Texaco, and Shell where the prices are on big signs. Regular unleaded is $1 and change, maybe $1.10 or maybe 99 cents if there is a gas war going on. People fill up twice a week, and trucks have big tanks that cost $20 to fill, while someone always washes the windshield while the gas pumps and the squeegee sits in a bucket of blue water. The gas station convenience stores sell everything with cigarettes behind the counter and lotto tickets where the clerk has to check. Big gulp fountain drinks fill the corner with 32 ounces, 44 ounces, and 64 ounces of ice and soda like Dr. Pepper, Coke, and Big Red. The cups sweat immediately while candy bars sit on racks along with chips and jerky, that long stick variety of beef that is spicy with a strong smell. The bathrooms require a key attached to something awkward like a stick, a hubcap, or a 2x4, something you cannot forget or pocket. The bathrooms are small with locks that stick and light that is fluorescent and harsh, where everything is visible and too visible, so people are quick and get in and out before returning the key. The commute is easy for most people, at 20 minutes maybe or 30 if traffic is bad, but traffic is rarely that bad, except in the biggest cities. People listen to the radio and drink coffee from a travel mug that fits in the cup holder and keeps the coffee hot for hours. The morning show plays while the DJs joke around, do prank calls, and give away concert tickets. Some commutes are longer at an hour or more where people drive from small towns to bigger cities or from suburbs to downtown. The highway becomes their second home because they know every mile, every exit, and every landmark, like the big water tower, the billboard with the faded paint, and the exit where construction has been happening for years. Nothing changes quickly and everything is familiar. Billboards advertise everything from injury lawyers with their faces huge and smiling and confident, telling you to call now for personal injury and car accidents and 18-wheelers. The phone numbers are big and easy to read at highway speed, while other billboards sell fast food like Whataburger with the orange and white stripes, Taco Bell and Sonic. The pictures are bright and impossible, where the food never looks like that, but it still makes you hungry. Some billboards are religious with messages like Jesus saves and come to church and Bible verses. The signs are simple with white text on black or the opposite, and they appear between the commercial signs as a different kind of message and a reminder. This is the Bible Belt, where faith matters and churches are everywhere. Arriving at work means pulling into a parking lot that is already hot with pavement shimmering. People park and walk quickly to the building because the sun is intense even in the morning, and the building is brick or concrete and low and sprawling. The door is heavy, and inside the air conditioning hits like a wall because it is almost too cold, so people keep sweaters at their desks. The lobby has a reception desk where a receptionist answers phones saying good morning and how may I direct your call in a voice that is pleasant and professional. The desk has a big console phone with lots of buttons and lots of lines that the receptionist manages, transferring calls and taking messages. The messages are written on pink slips that say, while you were out with the time, the caller, and the message, and you check one for please call, will call back, or urgent. Offices have cubicles with gray fabric walls and desks with laminate tops, along with desktop computers with big monitors. The computers are beige and hum when they run while the mouse has a ball inside that gets dirty and the keyboard clicks with every letter. There is a floppy disk drive where people save their work on floppy disks that hold almost nothing, so you need dozens of them. The desktop is organized or it is chaos depending on the person, where some people have everything labeled and filed and perfect. Others have stacks of paper and folders everywhere, along with post-it notes on the monitor that remind them of things like deadlines, meetings, and phone calls to return. The notes are yellow, pink, and green, and they curl at the edges and fall off sometimes. Family photos sit on desks in frames showing kids at school, a wedding photo, or a vacation photo from the beach or the mountains or somewhere different. The photos make the space personal and yours, while coffee mugs accumulate where some people have 5 or 6. They are gifts mostly from co-workers, from conferences, and from family, and the mugs say things like funny sayings, motivational quotes, or company logos. The phone on the desk has buttons and a curly cord where people answer with the company name and take messages on pink slips of paper. The messages go in a slot on someone's desk, while the filing cabinets are metal and full of manila folders. Everything is paper, where memos are typed and photocopied, and the copy machine jams constantly so everyone knows how to clear a paper jam. The copy machine sits in a room that smells like toner and hot paper, and the machine is huge and industrial because it copies, collates, and staples when it works. When it jams, everyone groans because someone has to open panels and pull out crumpled paper and check every tray. The machine is temperamental and particular, but you learn its moods. Coffee in the break room is free where it sits in a glass pot on a burner since 6 in the morning. By 10, it tastes burnt, but people drink it anyway, adding powdered creamer and sugar from packets and stirring with a wooden stick. The break room has a microwave, a refrigerator, and a vending machine with chips and candy bars that cost 50 cents. The refrigerator is communal, where everyone uses it, and lunches are labeled with names written on brown bags or on plastic containers. People are territorial about their food because taking someone else's lunch is a crime, and a serious one. The refrigerator smells from old lunches forgotten and leftovers growing until someone cleans it out eventually, throws things away, and complains about it. The break room table has a newspaper, the morning paper that someone brings in and gets shared, the section spread across the table with sports, local news, and comics, where everyone reads the comics like Garfield, Dilbert, The Far Side, and Kathy. The jokes are familiar and comfortable, and people clip them sometimes to put on their cubicles and share them. Meetings happen in conference rooms where people sit around long tables and there is a whiteboard. Someone draws diagrams while someone else takes notes by hand because there are no laptops and no one checks email during meetings. Email is still new and not everyone has it yet. So the meetings go long sometimes while people watch the clock and think about lunch. The conference room has a speakerphone that sits in the middle of the table, triangular and black. And when someone calls in, their voice comes through tinny and distant and echoey. Everyone speaks up and talks toward the phone because the connection is not great. So you hear, "Can you repeat that?" And "We did not catch that," while the speaker crackles. Lunch happens at noon or 11:30 or 12:30 depending on the schedule. And some people bring lunch in brown bags or Tupperware. Sandwiches were made that morning or the night before with turkey and cheese, ham and cheese, or PB&J, where the sandwiches are simple. White bread or wheat bread with mayonnaise and mustard, a bag of chips, an apple, and a cookie. Other people go out because there are so many options with fast food everywhere like McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, and Taco Bell. The drive-through lines are long with cars wrapped around the building where people order through a speaker. The voice asks what you want and you shout your order. Then they repeat it back, sometimes wrong. So you correct them before pulling forward. You pay at the first window and get your food at the second, where the bag is warm and greasy and the smell fills the car. Eating in the car is normal, where you drive and eat with the burger wrapped in paper that you unwrap as you drive. One hand stays on the wheel and one hand holds the burger while fries sit in the bag where you reach in between bites. The fries are hot and salty and perfect while the drink sits in the cup holder and you sip through the straw as ice rattles in the cup. Sit-down restaurants are an option too, with places like Chili's, Applebee's, and TGI Fridays, where the restaurants are loud and busy. The booths are vinyl, and the menus are huge with laminated pages and pictures of food where everything looks good, from burgers and fajitas and ribs to salads and appetizers to share. The servers are friendly and introduce themselves, saying, "Hi, I'm Sarah. I'll be taking care of you today. Can I start you off with drinks?" The drinks come first with sweet tea that is so sweet, ice water with lemon, Coke, and Dr. Pepper in tall plastic glasses. The ice is crushed, and the servers refill constantly so the glass is never empty, swinging by every few minutes to ask how is everything and can I get you anything else. They are attentive because they are working for tips. The food comes out on heavy white ceramic plates that are hot and sizzling sometimes, like when the fajitas come on a cast iron skillet. The onions and peppers are still cooking, and the smell is incredible as smoke rises, while the tortillas come on the side warm and wrapped in a cloth. Toppings fill small bowls with sour cream, guacamole, cheese, and salsa, where you build your own and pile it high. You fold it over and eat carefully because things fall out. They always do. For kids, the morning means school at the elementary school that is brick and one story, sprawling across several acres. The playground has metal equipment with swings and slides and monkey bars that are all hot to the touch by afternoon, and the grass is patchy with fire ant mounds that everyone knows to avoid. The school day starts with the bell, where kids line up by class and walk in single file. No talking in the hallways, and the classrooms smell like paper and crayons and cleaning supplies. The desks are attached to chairs with a metal basket underneath for books, and the floor is tile, while the walls are cinder block painted cream or beige. The chalkboard is green where the teacher writes with white chalk, and the chalk dust gets everywhere. Someone is always picked to clean the erasers where they take them outside and clap them together as white clouds puff into the air. It feels important and special. The teacher's desk sits in the front covered with papers, folders, and supplies, and an apple sits there sometimes from a student as a gift. The teacher has a coffee mug that steams, and the mug has inspirational sayings or cartoon characters or just says teacher, while the desk has drawers full of mysterious things that kids wonder about. The walls are covered with posters showing the alphabet, numbers, and a map that shows the United States, where Texas is big and bigger than it should be. Everything's bigger in Texas, even on maps, and the map pulls down like a window shade, yellowed and old and used for years or decades maybe. Reading means real books kept in the classroom library with plastic covers that are cracked and pages worn soft. Everyone has read the same books and knows the same stories, and the books smell like all the hands that have held them. The Little House books, the Chronicles of Narnia, Where the Red Fern Grows, and Bridge to Terabithia are books that make you cry and stay with you. The teacher reads aloud after lunch while the class sits on the carpet that is scratchy and smells dusty, but everyone settles in and gets comfortable. The teacher sits in a chair with the book open, and the voice changes for different characters as everyone listens with eyes half closed and imagining. The story comes alive, and the room fades away until there is only the story. Math is done with pencil and paper, where the pencils have pink erasers on top that leave smudges. Everyone has a pencil box with crayons, markers, scissors, and a glue stick inside, and the glue stick is purple when it goes on but dries clear. It smells sweet and chemical. Times tables are memorized and drilled with flashcards that the teacher holds up saying 7 times 8 or 9 times 6. You have to answer fast with no thinking and just knowing, and the facts are repeated until they stick and become automatic. Some kids struggle while some are instant, and the quickness shows while the teacher marks it down. Worksheets are endless with photocopied pages and purple ink from the ditto machine. The smell is distinct and chemical and sweet, where kids sniff the pages because they cannot help it, and the smell is part of school. The worksheets have problems in rows where you work down the page, showing your work and circling your answer. Then the teacher collects them, grades them, and returns them with stars and stickers and smiley faces. Science means experiments, sometimes like baking soda and vinegar volcanoes or growing beans in plastic cups. The cups line the windowsill where the beans sprout with green shoots pushing up and roots pushing down through the wet paper towel. You can see everything, the process and life happening, and it is magic of the simple kind. Social studies means Texas history, always Texas history, where you learn about the Alamo and remember the Alamo. Sam Houston, Stephen F. Austin, the Republic of Texas, and the Lone Star State all come back to Texas, where the pride is real and the history is important. Tests ask about dates and names and battles that everyone memorizes and everyone passes. Lunch is in the cafeteria, that huge and loud space with long tables with attached benches. The floor is waxed, and the lunch ladies wear hairnets and aprons while they serve from behind a counter, and trays are brown plastic divided into sections. The food is hot and simple, with pizza on Fridays, tacos on Tuesdays, chicken fried steak, green beans, and mashed potatoes, where everything tastes the same and everything is warm and filling. Milk comes in small cartons that are chocolate or white, cold and slippery and hard to open. The milk tastes different than milk at home, sweeter maybe, or just colder, and kids trade food and share chips and compare lunches. The cafeteria has rules with no running, no yelling, and clean up your tray. The monitors watch because teachers are on duty walking between tables, warning kids and handing out consequences like cleaning tables or missing recess. The threats work mostly. Recess is outside even when it is hot because the heat does not stop anything. Kids run and play kickball and play tag and swing as high as they can before jumping off, while the teachers stand in the shade watching and blowing whistles when it is time to line up. The playground equipment is metal and burns in the sun where the slide is especially bad. You slide down fast and your legs touch the metal that is scorching, but you do it anyway over and over. The monkey bars blister your palms and the swings have chains that are warm, but you pump your legs and go higher and higher until the sky tilts and the ground rushes up and you feel weightless and free. Jump rope is popular with Double Dutch, where the ropes slap the pavement and kids jump in and jump out. They chant rhymes like Miss Mary Mac, Mac Mac, all dressed in black, 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 and the rhythm never changes because the words are the same everywhere, passed down generation to generation. Foursquare is painted on the concrete where the squares are faded, but everyone knows the lines. The ball bounces and you hit it to another square while the rules are complex with cherry bomb and interference and tricks allowed, but only certain tricks. Everyone argues about the rules and no one ever agrees, but the game continues anyway. Recess ends too soon when the whistle blows and everyone lines up. The teachers lead them back inside where the hallway is cool after the heat and the water fountains are crowded. Everyone is thirsty and the water is lukewarm and tastes like metal, but it is wet, so you drink and wipe your mouth and keep moving. The afternoon drags because everyone is tired and the morning energy is gone. The teacher keeps going with math, reading, and spelling where the spelling words are on the board. You copy them and write them 5 times each in repetition that is supposed to help. And the hand cramps while the letters blur together, but you keep writing. Art happens once a week in the art room that smells like paint and glue. The tables are big and covered with plastic splattered with color from years of projects and years of kids. And the art teacher is patient and creative. They show you how, and then let you try with construction paper, markers, paint, glue, and glitter, where everything is possible. You make things and take them home, where your parents put them on the refrigerator. Music class is once a week, too, where the music room has risers and steps where you sit. The teacher plays piano while you sing the same songs like "This Land Is Your Land," "You're a Grand Old Flag," "Yellow Rose of Texas," and "Deep in the Heart of Texas." Everyone claps at that part with 4 claps in rhythm that is automatic and drilled in, and some kids play instruments like recorders, those simple plastic flutes that screech and squeal. Everyone tries. PE is twice a week, where the gym is huge with a shiny floor and lines everywhere for basketball, volleyball, and dodgeball. The coach has a whistle hanging on a lanyard, and the whistle is loud and sharp, where everyone stops when it blows. The coach is strict about doing your best, trying hard, and no complaining, and laps are punishment that everyone hates, but everyone runs them around and around the gym. The school day ends at 3 or 3:15 when the bell rings and everyone packs up. Books go in backpacks with papers shoved in and zippers zipped, and the hallway is chaos with kids everywhere, loud and moving. The buses are lined up outside where each bus has a number, and you find your bus and get on and find a seat. The bus is loud where kids talk and yell while the bus driver yells for quiet, but no one listens. The seats are green vinyl and cracked with duct tape covering the worst parts, and the windows open to let hot air come in. The bus smells like diesel and like kids and like the end of the day. The bus makes stops one after another where kids get off and the neighborhood empties out. Finally, your stop comes and you stand and walk down the aisle where the steps are steep. You step down and the door closes behind you and the bus drives away and you are home. High school is different because the building is bigger, maybe 2 stories with hallways that are crowded. Lockers line the walls in metal-painted school colors, and they slam shut all day long with the sound echoing, and everyone has a combination lock. The combinations are written on small pieces of paper and taped inside where people forget their combinations constantly. Classes change every hour when the bell rings, and everyone floods the hallway. People meet at lockers where they talk and laugh and pass notes folded into small triangles, and the notes say everything about who likes who and who is mad at who and plans for the weekend. The notes get passed during class and get intercepted sometimes where the teacher reads them out loud and everyone dies inside. Passing period is 5 minutes or sometimes 7, time enough to get to your next class. The school is big and some classes are far, so you have to hurry and walk fast, and the hallways have traffic patterns. Stay to the right. Do not stop in the middle. Do not block the flow, and everyone knows the rules where mostly everyone follows them. The teachers are tired and patient and strict and kind because they have been teaching forever and know every trick. They stand at the front of the room and write on the overhead projector that makes a bright square on the wall, and the transparency sheets crinkle while the markers smell sharp. The teachers stack the sheets on top of each other where the light shows through all of them at once, and it gets confusing. Textbooks are heavy and old with hard covers and thin pages with bent corners. Everyone writes their name inside the front cover where years of names are stacked on top of each other, and the books smell like paper and dust. They are shared, so you cannot write in them, and notes go in notebooks, spiral notebooks, with wide-ruled or college-ruled paper. The pages tear easily, and the spiral catches on everything. Tests are on Scantron sheets, filled in with number 2 pencils where the bubbles must be filled completely, and the pencil must be dark enough. The machine will not read it otherwise, so everyone fills carefully, checking and double-checking, because the wrong bubble means the wrong answer even if you know the material. The machine does not care. English class means reading novels like The Outsiders, To Kill a Mockingbird, and Of Mice and Men. The books are assigned, and everyone reads the same pages, while discussion happens in class asking, "What did you think and what does it mean?" Some kids have read ahead and know what happens, where they try not to spoil it, and the books are powerful and real and make you think and make you feel. Essays are handwritten or typed if you have a typewriter that sits on a desk, heavy and mechanical where the keys stick sometimes, and you have to press hard. The ribbon gets old and the letters get faint, so you change the ribbon and your fingers get black from ink stains. Essays are double-spaced with 1-inch margins and your name in the corner with the title centered, and everything has rules because format matters. Math gets harder with algebra, geometry, and pre-calculus for some. The formulas are on the board where you copy them and apply them and solve problems, page after page. Homework is nightly with 20 problems or 30, where you show your work because the work is more important than the answer. The process matters and understanding matters, and some kids get it while some do not. Tutoring happens after school, where the teacher stays late to help and explain again differently until it clicks. History is Texas history, and American history, and world history, where the timelines are long and the names are many. Dates must be memorized along with events, wars and treaties, and the teacher lectures while you take notes. The notes are messy and rushed where you review them later and highlight important parts, and study guides are handed out before tests. Fill in the blanks, match the names, answer the questions, and the tests are hard but fair. Everything came from class and from the book. You just have to remember. Science is biology, chemistry, and physics, where labs happen once a week. The lab tables are black and heat-resistant with sinks and gas, taps for Bunsen burners, and the burners light with a striker where the flame is blue and hot. Experiments are done in pairs with partners where you work together, measure carefully, and record results. You write lab reports with hypothesis, procedure, results, and conclusion in a format that never changes, and the reports pile up. Lunch happens in waves because the cafeteria cannot fit everyone. Some people eat at 11, some at noon, and some at 12:30. And the food is the same as elementary school, just with more of it. There are longer lines, more noise, and more chaos while people sit with their friends at the same table every day. The tables are territories and everyone knows where they belong. The lunchroom has a salad bar sometimes with iceberg lettuce, shredded carrots, tomatoes, and croutons with ranch dressing. The bar is popular and healthier where the athletes eat. But the salad is never enough, so you get a burger too, or pizza or something else for balance. The chocolate chip cookies are huge and soft and cost $0.25, where everyone buys one or two. Some kids leave campus for lunch if they have cars and if they are seniors. Open campus means they drive to Taco Bell or McDonald's or Sonic and race back to park in the lot and run to class. The bell rings and they make it barely, and the teachers know, but do not care as long as you are not late. Seniors have privileges, and this is one. After school, some kids go home while some stay for sports practice with football in the fall, basketball in the winter, baseball in the spring, and track and field. The practices are long and hard where coaches yell and kids run laps and do drills, and the equipment smells like sweat and rubber and grass. The locker rooms smell worse, but no one cares because being on a team means something. The football field is grass, real grass mowed short and lined white, where the lines are perfect and painted fresh every week. The goalposts are yellow and stand tall while the scoreboard is visible from everywhere showing the score, the time, the down, and the yard line with everything you need to know. The press box sits high above the stands where the announcer calls the game and his voice echoes so everyone hears. The field house is attached to the stadium with locker rooms, a weight room, and coaches' offices. The place smells like sweat and testosterone and determination, while the walls have photos of championship teams and all-district players, legends. Kids look at them and want to be there on that wall and remembered, and it drives them and pushes them and makes them work harder. Friday night football is everything where the whole town shows up and the stadium fills. The stands are metal and clang when people walk where everyone wears school colors, and the band plays while the cheerleaders cheer. The concession stand sells popcorn and nachos and candy, where the nachos come in a paper tray with bright orange cheese that is hot and burns your mouth, but you eat it anyway. The lights are so bright, and the field is green with white lines that are perfect. The players look huge in their pads, and the helmets shine while the game is serious and important. People cheer and stand and yell while the scoreboard lights up and the announcer's voice echoes. And when the home team scores, everyone screams. The band plays the fight song all over and over. The drill team performs at halftime, where the girls wear matching outfits with sequins and fringe and boots. They dance in formation, synchronized and practiced, and the routines are complex and memorized. The music blares while the crowd watches, where some people leave for the concession stand, but others stay respectful. The girls work hard and deserve attention. After the game, people go to Whataburger or Sonic or Dairy Queen, where the parking lots are full and cars circle looking for spots. Groups of kids stand around talking about the game and making plans and flirting, and the air smells like French fries and exhaust and hairspray. The night is still warm with stars out where everything feels possible. Whataburger is open late, all night really, and the orange and white building is bright and lit up and visible from far away. Inside, there are booths and tables, and the smell of grilled onions and mustard and ketchup, and the burgers are big and made to order. You wait for your number, and they call it out, and you pick up your tray where the burger is wrapped in orange paper with white stripes. The fries are in a sleeve, hot and salted. The booths fill with people still in their game clothes, with face paint smeared in school colors, where everyone is loud and excited. They relive the game play by play, asking, "Did you see that catch or that tackle or that run?" And the victories are celebrated while the losses are analyzed. What went wrong and what could have been different, and the conversations go on late into the night. But that is the weekend, and during the week, the routine is steady with morning, school, work, and errands. The grocery store is always busy, and H-E-B is a Texas institution where the store is big and bright with polished floors, wide aisles, and shelves stocked high. Everything is organized with produce near the front, where the fruits and vegetables are misted and glisten under the lights. The produce section has everything with apples in bins, red and green and yellow, and bananas hanging in big bunches. Oranges and grapefruit, Texas grapefruit that is ruby red and sweet, and the vegetables are piled high with lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and bell peppers in green and red and yellow. Corn in the husk can be bought by the ear, where people peel back the husk to check the kernels for perfect. The meat counter has butchers, real butchers in white coats, who will cut anything you want. They wrap it in white paper and write the price with a grease pencil, and the meat is fresh with beef, pork, and chicken. The chicken is whole or cut up with breasts, thighs, and wings, and the beef is ground or steaks like ribeye, sirloin, and T-bone. The pork is chops, ribs, and roasts, where you can find everything you need. The bakery makes fresh bread, and the smell fills the whole store, while tortillas are made fresh too. You can watch through a window where the machine presses them flat and they come out hot, stacked and bagged in flour tortillas and corn tortillas. The tortillas are soft and warm, and you can smell them through the bag, and some people buy them still warm to eat in the car on the way home with butter and salt. Simple and perfect. The deli has sliced meat and sliced cheese, where you take a number and wait your turn. The workers wear aprons and ask what you want, half a pound or a pound, thin sliced or thick, and they slice it fresh while the machine hums. The blade goes back and forth, and the meat piles up where they weigh it and adjust and wrap it in white paper before handing it over. The cheese is the same with cheddar, Swiss, American, and pepper jack, whatever you need. Shopping carts are huge and hold a week's worth of food, where people fill them with cereal, milk, bread, eggs, ground beef, chicken, pork chops, canned goods, boxes of macaroni and cheese, spaghetti sauce, frozen pizzas, and ice cream. The freezer aisle is cold, and people linger when they are hot where the doors fog up. The aisles have everything from cleaning supplies to paper products, toilet paper to paper towels, and the shelves go up high where you have to reach. The top shelf is always too high, so you stand on the bottom shelf and climb a little to grab what you need, and the store workers restock constantly. Boxes are everywhere where they cut them open and pull out products and stock the shelves, and the cardboard goes in carts to be recycled, crushed, and thrown away. The ethnic food aisle has everything from Mexican food supplies like dried chiles, masa, and canned beans that are refried black and pinto. Hot sauce comes in so many kinds with red, green, salsa verde, and salsa roja. And Asian food supplies include soy sauce, rice, and noodles. The variety is growing with more options every year, bringing more flavors and more cultures all in one aisle. The candy aisle is dangerous, with rows of candy from chocolate and gummies to hard candy and sour candy, where everything is bright and tempting. Kids beg for it, saying, "Please, just one," and parents negotiate, saying if you are good or if you behave. The candy is a tool, a reward, a bribe, whatever works. The checkout line moves slowly, where the cashier scans each item with beep, 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 and the items roll down the belt. The bagger puts them in plastic sacks after asking paper or plastic where everyone says plastic. And the sacks are thin and stretch, so double bagging happens often. The eggs go in their own bag, careful, and bread on top with nothing heavy on top of bread because the system is understood. The baggers are quick and efficient because they have done this 1,000 times. The total is always more than expected, but people pay with cash or checks since credit cards are still rare. The checkbook comes out with a pen where you write the date, the amount in numbers and in words, and the signature before tearing out the check. You hand it over, and the cashier runs it through a machine for verification. Then the drawer opens, and the check goes in. Change comes back with coins and bills, while the receipt is long with everything itemized, and it goes in the bag or the purse or gets thrown away immediately. The parking lot is an oven where the car has been sitting in the sun and the steering wheel is too hot to touch. The seats burn, so everyone opens all the doors first to let the heat out, and the air conditioner blows hot air at first before it slowly gets cold. The groceries go in the trunk where the ice cream is already melting. Driving home means passing familiar places like the same stores and the same restaurants. Luby's Cafeteria, with its square building and simple sign, sits next to Furs and Piccadilly, places where you go through a line with a tray and point at what you want. They serve it on heavy plates with meatloaf, chicken fried steak, mashed potatoes, green beans, corn, rolls, jello, and pie, where everything is warm and soft and tastes like comfort. The cafeterias are full of older people, retired people who come for lunch or for dinner, early dinner at 4:30 or 5. The prices are good and the food is familiar, where they know the servers and have favorite tables and favorite dishes. And the cafeteria is community and connection and routine. Mexican food restaurants are everywhere in small places that are family-owned. The buildings are painted bright colors like pink, yellow, and turquoise with hand-painted signs. And inside, there are vinyl booths with pictures of Mexico on the walls. The menus are huge with enchiladas, tacos, fajitas, tamales, and menudo on weekends. And the chips come free while they are still warm. The salsa is fresh, and the waitresses call you mijo or mija, honey, because they know the regulars and bring their drinks without asking. The salsa is made fresh daily in red and green, sometimes both, where the red is smooth and blended while the green has chunks of tomatillos, jalapenos, and cilantro. Both are good and people have preferences, strong preferences, and the chips are thick and fried fresh and salted. You eat too many before the meal even comes, and the basket empties, so they bring more without asking. Free refills on chips and on salsa because it is expected. Barbecue places have smoke that you can smell from blocks away, where it rises from chimneys and hangs in the air. Mesquite and oak smoke, while the meat cooks slow with brisket, ribs, and sausage. And the places are simple, with picnic tables and paper towels instead of napkins. White bread, pickles, and onions are on the side, while the meat is served by the pound, sliced thick where it falls apart. The sauce is on the side, where some people use it and some people don't, because the meat should be good enough on its own. The brisket has a smoke ring in pink, the sign of proper smoking, and the fat is rendered and melted where the meat is tender. You can pull it apart with your fingers or just bite into it as juice runs down your chin and your hands get messy. But that is okay, because that is part of it. The beans are on the side, pinto beans cooked with bacon and onions, and the potato salad is creamy and mustard-based and yellow. The coleslaw is crisp and vinegar-based and tangy. Afternoon means heat, the peak heat, where the sun is directly overhead and shadows disappear. The pavement shimmers, and you can see heat waves rising where the air feels solid, and going outside is like opening an oven. Your skin prickles and sweat starts immediately, while sunglasses are necessary because the glare is blinding. People stay inside during the hottest part of the day, where the air conditioner runs constantly and the electric bill will be high. But you cannot live without air conditioning, not in Texas and not in summer, so the house stays dim with curtains closed and blinds shut. Blocking out the sun helps a little. The thermostat is set to 72 or 74 or 76, depending on the budget and how hot you can stand it. The unit clicks on and clicks off in a cycle that is constant, while the vents blow cold air that moves through the house. Some rooms are colder and some are warmer, where the master bedroom is always cold, but the kitchen is always warm from the oven and the stove and the appliances. They generate heat, and the air conditioner works harder. Television fills the afternoon with talk shows, game shows, and soap operas. The price is right with Bob Barker and Wheel of Fortune reruns and Days of Our Lives, and The Young and the Restless play where people know the stories because they have watched for years. The same characters and the same drama make it comforting in its predictability. The price is right is on at 10 or 11, depending on the market, where Bob Barker is the host and has been forever. His hair is white and perfect, and his voice is calm, saying, "Come on down. You are the next contestant." People in the audience scream and jump and run to contestants' row where they bid on prizes, and the closest bid wins without going over. Everyone plays along at home, shouting bids and guessing, while the prizes are cars, vacuums, furniture, and trips. The showcase showdown comes where the wheel spins with big wheel. Keep on turning, and people spin hoping for $1, green space, or black space. Landing on $1 means a bonus spin with more money and a chance. Cartoons come on after school where kids sprawl on the floor and the carpet makes patterns on their skin. They watch Tiny Toon Adventures, Animaniacs, Darkwing Duck, The Simpsons at 5, and Saved by the Bell reruns where the shows are bright and loud and fast. Commercials sell toys and cereals and fast food with jingles that get stuck in your head. Nickelodeon is popular with Rugrats, Doug, Ren and Stimpy, Clarissa Explains It All, and The Adventures of Pete and Pete. The shows are weird and wonderful and different from anything else, where the Nick logo is orange, the splat, and it is everywhere on t-shirts, backpacks, and lunchboxes. Being a Nick kid means something because you are part of a club. The Disney afternoon plays on ABC with DuckTales, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, Tailspin, and Darkwing Duck in a lineup that is solid. The shows are adventures where the characters are animals but act like people with jobs, families, and problems, and the shows are funny and exciting. The theme songs are catchy, like "Life is Like a Hurricane Here in Duckburg." The VCR sits under the television, black and heavy, where it blinks 12 o'clock because no one has figured out how to set it properly. Videotapes are stacked next to it with Disney movies and recorded shows, and the tapes are labeled with masking tape in someone's mother's handwriting. The tapes get rewound because Be Kind Rewind and the Blockbuster sticker reminds you. The Disney movies are watched over and over, where The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, and The Lion King play on tapes that are worn. The picture is fuzzy in places, and the tracking needs adjusting, but the movies still play, and the songs are still perfect. Kids sing along with every word and every note because the movies are magic, and they never get old. Renting movies means going to Blockbuster on Friday night, where the store is always crowded and people browse the aisles. New releases are along the wall, but are mostly rented out, where only the empty cases remain. So you have to look in the back at comedy, action, drama, horror, and kids. Each section is labeled, and the cases are plastic that snap shut with a cardboard sleeve inside that has the movie information showing cast, plot, and rating. The video store smells like popcorn that they sell at the counter, fresh popped and buttered, where you can buy a bag and eat it while you browse. The carpet is patterned in blue and yellow, Blockbuster colors, and the shelves are tall and organized alphabetically. Finding what you want is easy unless someone put it back in the wrong place, and that happens often. You take the case to the counter where they find the tape and scan it and tell you when it is due. Tuesday. You have until Tuesday, and late fees are real and add up, so you put the tape in a plastic bag. At home, everyone gathers to watch in the living room, on the couch, and the floor with popcorn in a bowl, the microwave kind that smells like butter and salt. The tape goes in the VCR, and the tracking has to be adjusted where the picture wobbles, then clears. The previews play, and everyone complains, but no one fast-forwards. The previews are for other movies coming soon to video or coming soon to theaters. The voice is deep and dramatic, saying in a world this summer from the studio that brought you. And the previews are sometimes better than the movie. They show all the good parts and build anticipation to make you want to see it, so you add it to the list and rent it next time. Evening means dinner, a meal, not just food, where the whole family sits down. The table is set and the television is off because this is the rule, and there are plates, forks, knives, napkins, and glasses of iced tea. Sweet tea, so sweet it makes your teeth hurt, where ice cubes clink and condensation drips down the glass. The table is wood or laminate that looks like wood, with leaves that fold out for big dinners, holidays, and company. Most nights, the table is small, with just the family and 4 chairs, 5 or 6 depending, and the chairs match or they do not. Hand-me-downs mix and match where the cushions are worn but comfortable. The food is simple and filling, with pot roast with potatoes and carrots, spaghetti with meat sauce, chicken and rice, pork chops, meatloaf, green beans from a can, corn, biscuits, and cornbread. Everything is hot and everything is homemade, where the recipes are from index cards written in someone's handwriting and passed down. The same meals every week in the same rotation. The pot roast cooks all day in a slow cooker, the crock pot, where it sits on the counter simmering. The smell fills the house with beef, onions, carrots, and potatoes, and the roast is tender, fork tender, where it falls apart. The gravy is thick and rich and poured over everything, as the meal is comfort, pure comfort. Casseroles are common, with King Ranch casserole, tater tot casserole, and chicken spaghetti, where everything is baked in a glass dish. Layers of ingredients with cheese on top, melted and golden, and the dish comes out of the oven to sit on a folded towel. Steam rises, and everyone waits for it to cool. King Ranch casserole is a Texas classic, with chicken, tortillas, cream of chicken soup, cream of mushroom soup, Rotel tomatoes with green chilies, and cheese, lots of cheese. Layered and baked, the tortillas get soft, almost like lasagna noodles, and the cheese melts and bubbles and browns on top. The casserole is cut into squares and served on plates where it is creamy and spicy and cheesy, everything you need. Eating together means talking about how was your day and what happened at school and what happened at work. The stories are small and normal, where someone got a good grade, someone met a deadline, and someone saw a friend, and the conversation flows. Sometimes there is silence, and that is okay too, with the sound of forks on plates, chewing and swallowing, where it is comfortable. Dinner table rules are enforced with elbows off the table, chew with your mouth closed, no talking with food in your mouth, and ask to be excused. The rules are repeated, dinner after dinner and year after year, where some kids follow them and some do not. Parents correct and remind and nag until eventually it sticks, and eventually the manners become automatic. After dinner, someone clears the table and someone washes dishes, where the sink fills with hot, soapy water. The sponge is yellow and worn, while the dishes stack in the drainer to air dry, and the counter gets wiped down while the floor gets swept. The kitchen is clean again and ready for tomorrow. Some families have a dishwasher built in under the counter, where the door pulls down and racks slide out. Dishes go in arranged carefully, with plates in the bottom and glasses on top, and silverware in the basket where the detergent goes in a little cup. You close it and close the door and turn it on where the machine hums and water sprays, and the cycle takes an hour or maybe more. When it is done, the dishes are clean and hot, so you let them cool before putting them away. The evening stretches out where there is time now to relax and to do nothing. The television comes back on to prime time with the shows everyone watches like Home Improvement, Roseanne, Seinfeld, Friends, and Frasier. The shows are funny and familiar where the laugh track tells you when to laugh, and the commercials are long so people get up during commercials. They go to the bathroom, get a snack, and refill their drink. Home Improvement is on Tuesday nights where Tim Allen is Tim the Toolman Taylor, who has a show called Tool Time. He is always having accidents and making mistakes while his neighbor Wilson gives advice where you only see the top half of Wilson's face over the fence. The show is about family, marriage, parenting, and growing up where the jokes are corny but funny and the situations are relatable. Everyone watches. Seinfeld is on Thursday nights, the show about nothing, with Jerry, Elaine, George, and Kramer who live in New York. Their problems are ridiculous and trivial, but somehow important, and the show is smart and funny and different. The characters are selfish and self-absorbed, but you love them anyway while the catchphrases enter the language like yada yada yada. Not that there's anything wrong with that, and no soup for you. Everyone quotes the show. Friends is also Thursday nights with 6 friends in New York where Ross, Rachel, Monica, Chandler, Joey, and Phoebe hang out at Central Perk, a coffee shop. They drink coffee and talk while the apartments are huge and unrealistic, but no one cares. The show is about friendship and relationships and growing up where the theme song is catchy with "So No One Told You Life Was Gonna Be This Way," and everyone claps along. The phone rings sometimes, the phone on the wall with a long cord where you can walk into the next room, but only so far because the cord stretches and tangles. Phone calls are events where you talk and listen and twirl the cord around your finger, and teenage girls can talk for hours about nothing and about everything. The phone bill shows every call, and long distance costs extra, so you have to watch that. Call waiting beeps when someone else is calling, and you can click over to switch calls and go back. It is new technology that is convenient but annoying because the beep interrupts, and you lose your train of thought, so some people ignore it and let it beep and stay on the original call. Others click over every time just in case because it might be important. Caller ID is newer, with a little box attached to the phone showing the number calling and the name sometimes. You can screen calls and see who it is before you answer, where it changes everything with no more mystery and no more surprises. You decide who to talk to and when because the power is yours. Some people read books from the library or paperbacks from the grocery store where the books have creased spines and dog-eared pages. Reading happens in a favorite chair under a lamp, where the house is quiet except for the air conditioner and the pages turn while time passes. Outside, it is finally getting dark, where the heat is breaking just a little. The library is a sanctuary that is quiet and cool, with the smell of books, old paper, and ink. The shelves are organized with fiction, nonfiction, biographies, mysteries, romance, and science fiction, where everything has a place. The card catalog sits in wooden drawers with small cards showing typed information about author, title, and call number. You search and pull out cards and Write down the numbers to find the books. The librarian sits at the desk with glasses on a chain and a sweater, even though it is summer. The librarian stamps books on the date card, showing the due date 2 weeks from today, and you can renew if no one else has requested it. The library card is in your wallet, laminated, with your name and a barcode where the librarian scans it or writes down the number. The books are checked out, and they are yours for 2 weeks. Reading in bed is the best, where the lamp is on and the room is dark otherwise. Propped up on pillows with the book open, the story unfolds, and you read until your eyes get heavy. The book falls, and you wake up and mark your place before turning off the light, and sleep comes easy. Twilight in Texas is slow, where the sun takes forever to set and the sky goes through colors. Orange, pink, purple, and deep blue, while the clouds catch fire and glow, and the horizon is flat so you can see so far. The sky is the main event always because it dominates everything. People sit on porches to watch, where the sunset is free entertainment that is beautiful and different every night. The colors shift and change and fade while the show lasts 30 minutes or maybe more. And then the sun is gone. The sky goes dark, but slowly, where the blue deepens and the stars start to appear one by one, then thousands. Lightning bugs come out and blink in the grass and in the trees where kids chase them. They catch them in jars with holes poked in the lids, and the lightning bugs glow on and off, until eventually the kids let them go. They watch them fly away as little floating lights disappearing into the dark. Night sounds start with crickets and cicadas in the rhythm of summer. The insects are loud and fill the air with noise that is constant and unending, where you stop hearing it after a while. It becomes background, the soundtrack of every summer night, and dogs bark in the distance. Someone's dog always barking, and no one knows whose. The street lights come on and buzz with an orange glow where moths gather around them. The moths flutter and hit the light over and over where they never learn, and the pools of light spread across the street, the pavement, and the grass. Everything in between is dark, deep dark, country dark. The stars are incredible, where away from the cities the sky is black, pure black, and the stars are everywhere in millions. The Milky Way is a river of light stretching across the sky, where you can see planets like Mars, Venus, Jupiter, and Saturn if you know where to look. Constellations are clear, with the Big Dipper, Orion's Belt, Cassiopeia, and the North Star, where you can navigate by stars because people did for centuries. Sprinklers run in the evening time to come on automatically with the clicking sound and the spray of water. The smell of wet earth and wet grass smells like relief because the ground needs it and everything needs it, and the water makes rainbows in the streetlight. People walk through their yards checking to make sure everything is okay with the grass, the trees, and the flowers struggling in the heat. The grass is St. Augustine or Bermuda, where the St. Augustine is thick and dark green and spreads and takes over and chokes out weeds. But it needs water, lots of water, and the Bermuda is tougher and more drought resistant, but it goes dormant and turns brown and ugly. People choose based on preference and based on effort how much they want to water and how much they care. Neighbors talk over fences and across driveways in short conversations about the weather and about work and about the heat. Everyone complains about the heat, but everyone stays because this is home, and the heat is just part of it. You learn to live with it, and you adapt where you slow down and move differently, and plan around it. The neighborhood is close-knit, where everyone knows everyone and kids play together. Parents watch out for each other's kids, and borrowing is common with a cup of sugar, an egg, or a tool like the lawnmower.